Welcome to another installment in our PBS Users video series. I'm Mike, and in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the new features within PBS. These features are designed to make the system a little more user-friendly. The first improvement we're going to look at is the seniority block on the crew information screen. Now, this block used to be fairly confusing in that bidders never really knew what all the data meant, and this was due to the way the data was captured from the various systems within the company. Now, this block has been simplified to give bidders the information they really need. The layout is similar to the way it was before, but the data presented here is much more useful. The top line will show a bidder's system seniority as it appeared in the last published seniority list. Now, this number used to be dynamic in that it changed from month to month, but it also wasn't aligned with bidders' seniority numbers in other systems. To keep this number consistent, it will only be updated once per year when a new seniority list is published, and it's the same number that will be used across other platforms. This list is currently published annually in July as per Section 6B of the UPA. Next is a bidder's seniority within the category among active bidders. In other words, this number only includes bidders who are active and have the availability to be awarded a schedule. It will not include bidders who are inactive or have a full month's absence for any reason. This number is dynamic and will update from month to month. The third line will display the total number of active bidders in the category and the category seniority position of the G-line bidder. Recall that the G-line bidder is the most junior bidder guaranteed a line award, provided they do not enter any reserve bid groups. Again, these numbers are now reflective of only the active bidders in the category, so they're much more useful to the bidder. Final line in this box is the bidder's category and G-line seniority percentages based on active bidders. The most important number in this box when it comes to bidding is the bidder's G-line seniority. If this number is in black font, the bidder is at or above the G-line and is guaranteed a line award provided they don't enter any reserve bid groups. If this number is in red, this indicates that the bidder is below the G-line and the value is measured downward so that the last bidder in the category is 100% below the G-line. Bidders below the G-line are considered reserve bidders, but are subject to a line award if doing so improves more senior bidders. Either way, this number is important in developing a sound bidding strategy. Now, moving past the seniority block, let's take a look at some of the enhancements on the bidding screen. You'll first notice that the Bid Rows tab no longer displays the number of BAT job submissions a bidder has available to them. This is because there is no longer a limit on the number of BAT jobs a bidder can submit, and there's no longer a queue limit either. Bidders can now submit unlimited BAT jobs. Further to the right, you'll notice that there's a Trip Pool Statistics button, and you'll see that there are no Trip Pool Statistics displayed in the columns next to the bid rows. In the past, each bidder entered a row, and then the system would have to query the server to return data for these fields, which could take several seconds in a larger fleet. Now, these values won't be displayed until a bidder clicks on this button. But once they do, each bid row's data will be visible, as well as the final number of trips that are currently in the bidder's trip pools. Clicking on these numbers will display the trips as always. It's important to note that bidders will be able to click on the yellow box here just to see their pools, even if they haven't first clicked on the Trip Pool Statistics button. When entering bid groups, there are two other enhancements that we're glad to see. First is the removal of the 25 award and avoid command limit. Bidders will still be limited to a total of 50 award and avoid commands overall, but they will no longer be limited to only 25 of each. Next is the introduction of the date range validation tool in both line and reserve regular bid groups. For example, if a bidder chooses an award or avoid command and enters a date or date range for that command, which falls outside of the current bid period, the system will open a warning box to inform the bidder that they have chosen an invalid date range. It should be noted that this validation does not apply to the award and avoid carryout command, which allows for a date range outside of the bid period. Also, this validation will only occur with the bidder's regular bid groups and not their standing bid groups. The last feature we're going to show you today is the Auto BAT or Bid Analysis tool. As you're probably aware, we always suggest that bidders submit their bid groups to the Bid Analysis tool or BAT to test their feasibility. Now, when bidders submit their bid groups, they're automatically submitted as a new bat job as well. Bidders can submit bid groups individually, or, as before, bidders can submit all of their bid groups at a time by going to the Overview tab for the current month, selecting the bid groups they want to submit, and then clicking on the Submit button. Regardless of how a bidder submits their bid groups, they will also be submitted to the BAT. Clicking on the Bid Analysis Tool tab will display the BAT jobs generated when the bidder submitted the bid groups to PBS, as well as any other bid groups the bidder may have submitted manually. As always, we suggest that bidders do not erase BAT jobs, as they can be useful in researching award questions after the awards are released. Well, that's it for overall enhancements. Be sure to take a look at our other recent videos to get a preview of the new commands available to bidders. As always, if you have any questions, please visit one of our support portals by going to the prefbid.com forum or by calling 231-YOU-GOT-PBS. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in another installment of our PBS Users video series.